Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and we are back with a movie update. DVDs and Blu-rays, we're going to take a quick look at, a very quick look if I can actually make that happen. Forewarned, I haven't had a chance to watch a great deal of these, only a handful. It's been quite a busy month, but we're going to get cracking and take a look at these. But in the background, we are listening to Anima Morte, Face the Sea of Darkness. This is a prog rock band that I got well over a decade ago. I got this CD, maybe early 2000s, I think. Really good, going for that goblin sound. One of the first that I can recall sort of modern goblin type bands. And it goes for the goblin sound, the demonia sound. It's really good stuff. Would easily fit a Argento soundtrack, and I think that was the entire point. So listen to that in the background. Quickly going to take a look at the DVDs first. I got this whole bundle very cheap from one eBay seller. They worked out about $2 each. Can't argue with that. I think the seller was probably representing the company because they're all from the same manufacturer. Anyway, the first one we're looking at is the Ouija Resurrection. The cover got me. It looks like, it looks like cheap ghoulish witches and, all that kind of shenanigans. I don't really know. It just looked fun, and look, when I'm paying $2 a movie, I could care less. $2 per sealed new movie as well. So these were from ITN Distribution and also Feature Films. I think they might be related companies, but anyway, local releases, and yeah, it looks like an interesting little horror film. Runs at a tight 83 minutes, which is always fun for me, and it has a good amount of jump and boo, apparently. So we'll see what the Ouija Resurrection is like. Interesting stuff. The next one, I haven't seen this around before. This is Reclusion. Letting them in was was his way out, but he was not alone. Okay, some people should be left alone, apparently. Sounds fairly interesting. Don't know any of the people in it. Yeah, it's that's all I got. I really don't know much about these ones, so I'm going in kind of blind. But it does sound fairly interesting. Haunting, sinister presence. There you go. Reclusion. Interesting stuff. This one has a pretty cool cover. Shame the Devil, British answer to Saw. So that was interesting in itself. I do like a good Saw ripoff. It's got the MA for strong themes, violence, sex scenes, and coarse language. So it's running the full gamut without getting an R. And the director Paul Tanner does an exquisite job of creating an instantaneous tone of dread and despair, says the quote on the back. And I'll be the judge of that when I actually get around to watching it. So this is Shame the Devil. It does sound pretty cool. The next one, I thought it was a cool title, Off Piste, which would be an Australian thing to do when the pub's open. Go off, get pissed. Aren't I funny? Anyway. A thriller in the snow is what this looks like to me. A solitary man with a terrible secret. Years after taking an innocent's life, etc., etc. SAS retiree, etc. Peaceful, quiet life. Blah, blah. Hunted down by those lives he destroyed. There you go. Off-piste. And I do like that sort of blood drag through the snow. It looks pretty cool. We'll see how that one's like. This one, I've been told by my good buddy Extra the Mutilator, is good fun. The Night Watchman. I believe he was trying to find a release of it stateside, and the local release has been around for a while, so it looks pretty cool. Horror comedy, I understand, and it looks pretty damn gory. So yeah, looking forward to checking out The Night Watchman. Like the look of the clown on the front. So there you go. Check out this one. Oh dear. Whoa, Frankenstein versus the Mummy. Rest in pieces. Get it? Because Frankenstein's made of pieces. Anyway, this looks craptacular, and it's got an R. To get an R rating in Australia, you're doing something pretty hardcore. High impact horror, violence, blood and gore. I'm assuming it's all going to be CG, terrible gore, but look, you never know. I might get some practical effects, but I highly doubt it. I am going to get the Mummy versus the Frankenstein, I hope. Hopefully that battle is not just 2 seconds towards the end of just 87 minutes of people talking at each other. So, yeah. Hopefully I get what it's on the tin. Well, there you go. Frankenstein versus the Mummy. This one just looked cool. Fang. I don't know. Fang. Is that a bear? No, it looks like a gorilla or something. In a small town, something is out there. I presume it's Fang. Could be a grillery thing, I don't know. Some kind of monster. There is a monster within us. Only rated M, which means you probably won't see a great deal of horror violence, but anyway. We'll see how we go with Fang. It looks pretty interesting. And that's what I got in that one lot. So, you know, $2 each, brand new and sealed, and $6 shipping or something. Not going to argue. I'll always pick up a bargain like that. The next DVD, this one was from Amazon, and I picked it up again from my buddy Extra the Mutilator's recommendation, Bus Driver. This looks like action explosion fun. He said it was a lot of fun. His job was to drive them. His mission is to save them. It looks like an 80s style action romp. Robert Forster, Tom Williamson, and Holly Alyssa. I don't know any of these people, but there you go. Sounds pretty cool. 2016 film. There's a school bus on fire. Bus driver. I'll be checking this one out, I think, fairly soon, as I'm in the mood for a bit of an action movie now that Halloween is over and done with. Moving on to the Blu-rays now. The first 4 we're looking at are all Shudder exclusive Blu-rays. I decided to start getting a few of them. And the first one comes recommended to me again from your friend of mine, Extra the Mutilator. This is Terrified. He was talking this one up for a while, a couple of years I think, and was hoping for some kind of release, and it was me that ended up pointing out to him that there was a Blu-ray coming from Shudder. We crossed our fingers and it worked out to be a pressed disc, which is always what you want on a Blu-ray film. Not a fan of MOD, burn on demand BDRs, not when I'm paying full price, but this is Terrified. I think it was a Spanish film. Yeah, Buenos Aires. This was a creepy little one, definitely. It's sort of like the things that bump in the night kind of film. It's got, are they zombies or are they just the returned dead? Like this kid here that is just sitting there at the breakfast table with a bowl of cereal, and they go and try and put him in the ground again, and then he's just back there sitting at the table. It's some pretty creepy stuff. There's a few really interesting jump scenes in it. There's some pretty good practical effects. There's some, it goes into Thing territory with what happens to some of the monsters and the people that get infected by the monsters. And I don't want to say too much more than that, but yeah, Terrified is definitely worth checking out. And if you've got Shudder subscription, which in Australia you can now get, you can watch this on your subscription. Try it before you buy, but I recommend just buying it. This is a really good one, Terrified. Another Shudder one looks pretty interesting. This is called Z, or I guess I'm supposed to say Z, but I'm not going to say it. It's Z. Who Wants to Play? This is about a kid with an imaginary friend that is not so imaginary, I believe. It's sort of more like it looks a bit like a Babadook kind of thing to me. He's got the creepy monster friend, but I haven't checked this one out yet. It seems pretty interesting. So yeah, Z. The trailer looked pretty cool. You check that one out. From the creators of Stillborn. I actually haven't seen Stillborn. This one was looked pretty interesting to me. Last one's out. I do like a good zombie film, yeah, it just looks like it's going to be a bit of fun zombie nonsense. Escape is the only cure. The problem with this one though was that it was a freaking burn on demand. BDRs, no good. It is difficult in this day and age to determine what you're going to get, particularly when a company like Shudder just picks and chooses what they're going to press and what they're not going to press. But what you need to look for, and I've already changed this case, so I can't show you, but on a case, it will either say in actual writing, Blu-ray disc, trademark, or it will have nothing there at all. That means you're getting a burn on demand. But on a cover, and this probably won't come across in the camera, you'll notice a complete lack of Blu-ray logos, but on the spine, don't know if it'll come across, that says Blu-ray disc, the actual words. It's another way of saying you're going to get a burn on demand because they're not allowed to use the logos if it is not a real press disc. Moving on to the last Shudder, this one looks really good. This is Blood Quantum. Check that cover out. A pulse-pounding treat. Fun and gory as hell, apparently, and certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes. I could care less about, but anyway. This looks like a pretty gory slasher kind of thing. I've heard some good stuff about it. Is this an English film? Not too sure actually if this is in English. It's certainly got English subtitles, but anyway. It looks great. I'm really hoping that the cover actually stands up to what the movie's going to be. Blood Quantum, the last of the Shudder exclusives for me to check out. Some other Blu-rays now. We're going to check out the new Australian release of Danger Diabolik. This is the Mario Bava 1968 sort of James Bond Italian spoof, I suppose. It's definitely going for that. It's it's a funny one. It's got the action, but it's pretty light-hearted in its approach. Imprint are really blowing my socks off. It's been really good having a new Australian label, number 12 in the series. A new Australian label that's doing collector level releases. You know, nice presentations, nice restorations. They've been the first worldwide so far with some Blu-ray releases. They were the first to do War of the Worlds. They were the first to do When Worlds Collide on Blu-ray, and they're going to be the first to do Fire in the Sky, which is coming very soon. So yeah, I'm really liking what Imprint's putting out, but I'm not going to collect them all because there's a lot of sort of dramas and noir kind of things that I'm not that interested in. There's the reverse cover, which is really cool. And it's got presumably the same HD presentation as the Shout Factory, I think it was. Commentary from Mario Bava biographer. Another commentary by John Philip Law, Tim Lucas. A video essay. Featurette. And a Beastie Boys music video. I could give two shits about that. But anyway, there you go. Danger Diabolik. From Imprint. Very cool. And a different one for Mario Bava, of course. Oh my, oh my. What a world we live in, where I now have Cruel Jaws on Blu-ray. Severin are hitting out of the park with these releases. I mean, we got Shocking Dark, Terminator 2, we got Robo War, we got... Man, it's just amazing. They're really appealing to me at the moment. And Cruel Jaws... I thought this was dead and buried when Shout Factory announced it. They were going to do it as a double with, what was it, Exterminators the Year 3000. They had the artwork and everything. And apparently they didn't realise that half the damn footage was stolen from Jaws, or from The Last Shark. It's a bunch of everything. It's got Star Wars music in it. It's like, it's a mix of everything. I don't know. They didn't do their research, but Severin did, or they don't care. One of the above. And... they released Cruel Jaws, so that's the retail cover, but if you get the one from their website, you get it with the banned Jaws 5, which is just amazing. And I forgot to bring it to show, but I ordered it with the novelization as well, which was just too ridiculous a thing to exist. There is, I'll show the footage here actually, I'll interject it. There's the novelization you can see here that looks just like the original books for the Jaws films. I really kind of want to get the rest of the Jaws films now on paperback so I can line them all up on the shelf with the Jaws 5, which is just ridiculous. It's a proper novelization. They actually paid money to someone to make a book of this film just for this release. Amazing. Cruel Jaws, one of Bruno Mattei's absolute best / worst. It's fantastic. Buy it. Just buy the damn thing. Another one. This is one that went from VHS to an excellent French DVD in widescreen, and I thought, man, that's just amazing. I will grab that, and I did. And then Arrow out of nowhere announces White Fire. The Robert Ginty and Fred Williamson. It's like 1980. When is this? 84. This is high grade cheese. You've got action, you've got ridiculous violence. I don't know what to say. This is one of those ones you've got to watch. You really need to watch this. That's the original artwork. The French DVD had that as well. It's just top quality 80s cheese. Proper 80s cheese, this one. It's a block of Gouda with some Parmesan, deep fried with brie and camembert. This is proper cheese, White Fire. And I mean, Robert Ginty, everything he's in, you could pretty much say is action cheese. So anyway, yeah, a ridiculous release from Arrow. It's got feature-length audio commentary. It's got new interviews. Enter the Hammer, a new interview with Fred Williamson. I mean, that's worth the price of entry alone. Diamond Cutter, an interview with the editor. Trailer, reversible sleeve, and all that kind of stuff. Amazing. White Fire, the crazy 80s action film about Jules. Beautiful. Amazing. Got 3 88 films slashers in today. This is number 45, Moon in Scorpio. Bit of a side grade here. 88's got me by the balls with their numbering. Whoops. Number 45, as I said. I already had I think it was Shout Factory of this, but when 88 weren't putting it in their slasher range, well, I had to have it because I am a completist scum. And there you go. It's not even a great slasher. It's an okay one at best. But yeah, spine numbers, man. They're the only company left that I still go for the spine numbers on. They're Italian, they're slashers, and they're Shaw Brothers lines. That's it. I don't go for all the Code Reds or anything like that anymore. But I do enjoy the Slasher Classics line. So there you go, Moon in Scorpio. What year is this? 1987. There you go, it's an MGM slasher too. We've got 2 Canon films coming up here. This is Schizoid, which also had a Shout Factory release with X-Ray, one of the double features. This is a pretty decent Klaus Kinski, pretty gritty and pretty grotty Klaus Kinski slasher, sort of neo-giallo thriller kind of thing. It's a bit of everything. I enjoy this one. It's from 1980. It's got Marina Hill and Craig Wasson as well. And yeah, killer with big pair of scissors. So, there you go. Canon riding the slashers pretty early on for 1980. I mean, Friday the 13th had only just come out. And Canon were jumping on to that, doing their own slashers. So, happy to get an individual release of Schizoid. There's the other cover art there. Nice black case. Not a great deal of extra pieces here. Interviews. It's got subtitles for those that need it. Audio commentary with Troy Howarth, who does a lot of those commentaries. So there you go. Schizoid. And the next slasher and Canon film. This is Charles Bronson's 10 to Midnight. Charles Bronson did a slasher. Sort of, anyway. And it's from 1983, number 44 in the range. And it's another Canon film because that's what Bronson was doing at this time. So, yeah, 1983. That's sort of around about Death Wish 3 territory, I think. 2 or 3. And, yeah, he did this one for Canon. Which is, yeah, a pretty, sort of gritty, like, New York City. I think it's New York City. I don't know. It may as well be. It's just a city focused slasher film with, Charles Bronson with serial killer. And it's a really good one. Highly rated, highly recommended. Great cover on the sleek as well. There's the underside. Another one on the black case. Quite a few features on this one. New 4K scan. Shout Factory did a release of this as well. So I'm not too sure if it's the same scan. It probably is. Audio commentary from writer and historians. Producing Bronson interview. Remembering Bronson interview. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff about Charles Bronson. That's really good. And the Mike Malloy on cop sleaze movement of the early 80s. That sounds quite interesting. Because cop sleaze films were definitely a thing. So there you go. 10 to Midnight. Very good. 2 more Blu-rays. These all came in today. This is The Master. This is the new 88 Jet Li film. So they've been doing a lot of Jackie Chan films, but this is their first, I think, Jet Li one. Eureka's done a few Jet Lis, but anyway, this is The Master with Yuan Hua and Jerry Trimble's in this one as well. This is quite a good, fairly late film. This is from like 1992, presumably a Hong Kong film, and that's the original fairly boring poster because it's early 90s at this point. Quite a good one. No wires, no CG as it proclaims on the back, and yeah, heavy on the action. Good fun, and presents the story of a young kung fu champion who becomes embroiled in a violent vendetta against his former master, must use his amazing martial arts skills to survive on the brutal streets of downtown LA. That's the Master. Very nice release there, upgrading my Hong Kong Legends DVD. And the last of these Blu-rays we're going to check out before the fairly obvious box set over there is Jackie Chan's Spiritual Kung Fu. This came in today as well. Another from 88's Jackie Chan line that they've been doing a lot of the Golden Harvest films. This is a low wide motion film, and through Fortune Star. Great custom art there as well, but I do quite like the Hong Kong poster on this one. An earlier film for Jackie Chan here. What year is this? 1978. So yeah, an earlier film for him. A lot of traditional martial arts in this one. This is, yeah, more of a traditional piece from him. And novice at the Shaolin Temple learns martial arts in a very unusual set of masters. The ghosts who haunt the temple. Under their spectral tutelage, he gains the skills he needs to defend the Shaolin during its darkest hour. So there you go, that is Spiritual Kung Fu. And this is the cat that keeps meowing at me. Hello, do you want your dinner? He wants his dinner. The cat's fed, and we're going to look at the box sets now. The first one was a very lucky find. This is incredibly rare. I found this in the city in one of my shops that I go to sometimes. This is the Sonny Chiba collection of volume number 2. I've not ever seen this around. This is an old Eastern Eye release, so this would have been 2004 or something along those lines. 2005 apparently. And yeah, man, thing was brand new. And it's 3 films. You get Yakuza Deka 1 Secret Police. You get Part 2, The Assassin. And you get The Killing Machine. So yeah, this is pretty amazing to find this. I've never seen any of these 3 films. Yeah, the covers are all pretty awesome. And you know, being Eastern Eye, they are top quality releases. The Yakuza Dekas are from 1970, and Killing Machine is from, does it say? I can't find a date on Killing Machine, so I'm not too sure about that one. Presumably around the same time. But, you know, they're all in Japanese audio, English subtitles, anamorphic widescreen, 2:3:5:1. Like, Eastern Eye were on top of their game for these releases in Australia. We were very lucky to have them at the time. And yeah, I'm really stoked to get this Sonny Chiba collection. Volume 1 is not that hard to find on eBay. You can still find that. And I think one of the films is the Street Fighter film, which I've got in another set. So I've got to try and work out what the other 2 are in that set, see if it's worthwhile getting. But anyway, very happy to get this box set, Sonny Chiba Collection Volume 2. The next box set, this one came in a few days ago. Another one from Imprint. Just killing it, like I said. This is the Hammer House of Horror complete Blu-ray series. And it comes in a sort of Vinegar Syndrome style box, which is very, very nice. We don't usually get this kind of packaging in Australia. That's what I'm saying. Imprint are really appealing to the collector market, like Vinegar Syndrome, like with the companies that do this, Severin, Synapse. And yeah, so you get 3 disc set here, parts 1 to 4, parts 6 to 10, and parts 11 to 13 there of the complete series. This was a British series in like 1980 or so. Yeah, 1980 on the dot. I had the DVD set and watched pretty much all of them, I think. And they're very good. They're like hour long or so. Made for TV Hammer horror films. All various different settings, because they're not related in any way. They're all individual pieces. And haven't checked out the transfer on this yet, but I will assume it's the same as the UK one. That came out very similar timing. So if the UK is easier for you, get the UK set. But in Australia, I highly recommend checking out the Via Vision set, because this is just a thing of beauty. It's a nice tough box. So there you go. Bunch of special features too, exclusive audio commentaries, Grave Recollections, a visit with the actress Catherine Lee Scott featurette, Hammer Housekeeping, a visit with the actress Nia Nadasi featurette, and a widescreen version of Guardian of the Abyss. I wonder why there's a widescreen version. That's interesting. So There you go, Hammer House of Horror complete series from Vision. What's this over here? It's obvious. This is the Friday the 13th collection deluxe edition. Every man and his dog has shown this thing by now. I'm going to quickly show it too because, you know, hey, I got it. Let's tick off a few things first. It has the blue front, it's not purple. I did get all the correct films, and there was only a handful of fingerprints in my edition. And apparently I should be thankful for that, but anyway. Bit of quality control problems with this release. I think everybody would be aware of by now. Some people getting multiple copies of Part 4 and no Part 9. Some discs sometimes being scratched. And the ink on the blue box sometimes being a shade of purple instead of blue. But I was lucky, mine's in good condition. I've watched Part 1, the restoration was excellent. Cannot fault it. I'm very happy with the box set. There's obviously also a disc replacement program. Again, you're probably all aware of it. For problems with the 3D aspect of Part 3, I don't care, I don't do 3D. A uncut scene missing from Part 9 of a broken arm. And I think there was an audio dropout in Jason X. Anyway, you fill out the form and they send you the discs when they're ready, so no big drama. Comes with a little booklet as well, which is nice. The back slip thing up from the back of the box, I always chuck in the booklets. But yeah, nice booklet about the films. Looks pretty interesting. Haven't gone through it in detail yet. But yeah, I mean, that's the Friday the 13th set that every man and his dog is shown at this point. And that's it. That's my very quick DVD and Blu-ray update. Apologies again that I said I haven't watched many of these, but I wanted to show them off quickly while I had them out, and now I've done so. So hope you liked the video. If you've seen some of these films, do let me know in the comments what you thought of them, anything you've picked up interesting lately. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.